just kind of going in circles. 'Cause we've debated this to death, I feel like, and we're not making any headway.
Well, I think we are, because we know, we know that what happened to the black people through slavery and Jim Crow was wrong. Right?
Right.
What we haven't figured out is how wrong was it?
The world doesn't work like that. I can't give you a measurement.
You have to, though, because
Why do I have to? I
because
can't.
you have 40 million African Americans who are like, "Fuck you, white guy. You still
So
owe
what?
me." Why are all these other people so angry and pissed off where they're shutting down schools, saying, "White guy, go home. We don't even want to hear your opinion," and all of these other things? Why is that occurring? And the reason I think it's occurring is because there's been no reparative effort has been put out there. In fact, the only reparations for slavery that I was able to find in history.
I can respond to that.
Yeah, 1 second. So the only reparative effort that I can find in history regarding slavery was Lincoln signed into a law paying the slave owners of Washington, D.C. $300 for every slave they emancipated.
I think that like what we're seeing at Evergreen is as a result of feeding the story to them that this kind of thing is possible to solve and that they deserve a solution to this. And that causes them to demand it. And it leads to that anger rather than someone speaking to them in an honest way as an adult and saying, this is not how the world works. And this is why. Because we cannot go back and measure who has been wronged based on their ancestry and what qualifies as a wrong. And
But we do all the time.
no, we don't.
It's a Native American.
So if we wanted to have this conversation with like Lincoln back when he had the ability to go to slaves and say you spent this many years, so we're going to pay you this amount of money, fine. But to now propose that we're going to start, I don't really understand what this would look like. Are we talking about giving money, or you were proposed it as a tax incentive, which is essentially giving money and taking money from other people. You say it's not going to affect other people, but that's how taxes work. So you are talking about taking money and giving people money today for things that occurred outside their lifetime. The world doesn't work that way. What do you really want here? You can hold the mic.
Oh.
Just hit me with it.
Which point did you want me?
What do you want me to do? You want
Oh.
me to accept?
I just want, one of the things you say during this debate or discussion or whatever is that, but that's not how the world works. Mm-hmm. And I first want to say, well, brother, that is how the world works. And there's so many examples of this being how the world works. And the very fact that we have court systems is to address wrongs and to make things right. Whether it's, you have to pay because you killed somebody, Diddy has to go to jail because he sexually trafficked people.
Okay, can I respond to that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so Diddy had to go to jail because he committed a crime. This is what I mean when I say this is how the world works, is that you're only responsible for what you do, not for what someone else does. Diddy is responsible for what he does. Diddy doesn't go to jail for something that Diddy's granddad did. That's what I mean when I say that this is how the world works. Can we agree that that is a fundamental reality?
And I disagree that you should be responsible for what your grandfather did. But if the government that still exists to this day that made it possible for him to do that and passed laws that said it was okay to do that, don't they have a responsibility today to right that wrong?
The government's money comes from taxes, though. So when we talk about these things, that if you start talking about giving certain people of a certain race money or tax benefits,
Whatever.
that
If you want to repair them.
okay, but what do you mean repair them? And again, you're going to go into this dialogue, but around, and this is the real conversation, I think, is the view of reality, the view of cause and effect and responsibility, that you're only responsible for things that you do and taking the present and moving forward. And for me, wisdom is being able to look at the least bad option. Like, so Churchill said democracy is the worst form of government except for all the others. In the same way that I'm saying that this is the worst way forward except for the other, the one that you're proposing. That doesn't mean that there's not flaws within this methodology of moving forward.